Today, we're talking about a coin many men have held, spent, or tossed into a drawer without a second thought. The 2001 5 Rand coin from the Republic of South Africa. At first glance, it looks like just another circulation coin. Solid, heavy, practical. But as with many things in life, the deeper story changes everything. In 2001, South Africa was still in a period of transformation and renewed national identity. The 5 Rand coin represented strength, stability, and continuity. It wasn't just money. It was a statement of a country moving forward. The design reflects resilience and pride, something many men watching this understand deeply. You've seen economic shifts. You've seen markets rise and fall. You know that true worth isn't always obvious in the moment. The 5 Rand coin introduced in the post-2000 era carries the national coat of arms on one side, a powerful symbol of unity and progress. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic springbok antelope, a creature known for speed, endurance, and survival. For decades, the springbok has symbolized South Africa's spirit. It first appeared on earlier South African coinage long before 2001, and its return connects past and present. This coin belongs to the Modern Republic series of South Africa, the period following the country's redefinition in the 1990s. It is officially issued by the South African Reserve Bank, the institution responsible for maintaining the nation's currency and financial stability. When you hold this coin, you're holding a piece of sovereign authority backed by the full faith of a nation. Now let's talk about the physical presence of the coin itself. The 5 Rand 2001 is bimetallic. That alone gives it visual authority. The outer ring and inner core contrast in color, making it immediately recognizable. It has weight. It feels deliberate. It was built for circulation, built to last, built to endure years of handling. Much like many of you who have built families, businesses, and reputations over decades, millions of these coins were minted in 2001. In fact, the mintage reached into the tens of millions. That means this coin was never considered rare at the time of issue. It was common, everyday, ordinary. And yet, here's where the story gets interesting. Value in the coin world is not always about age alone. It's about condition. It's about errors. It's about unique characteristics. And most importantly, it's about demand. A standard circulated 2001 5 Rand coin today usually holds a modest value. In worn condition, it typically trades close to its face value. That's the honest truth. But here's what serious collectors understand. Coins in uncirculated condition, especially those preserved directly from mint rolls or sets, carry a premium. The cleaner the surfaces, the sharper the details on the springbok, the more defined the coat of arms, the higher the interest. And then there are error coins. Error coins are where excitement lives. Missed strikes, off-center strikes, double dies, bimetallic bonding errors where the core separates from the ring. These mistakes happen during production and slip into circulation unnoticed. To the average person, they look damaged. To a trained eye, they can represent significant collector value. Men in their 50s and 60s often appreciate this part of the story the most, because you know that imperfections sometimes increase character. The same applies to coins. A rare minting error can turn an ordinary piece into something sought after. Another factor that can influence value is proof versions. The South African Mint has produced proof coin sets over the years aimed at collectors. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets to create a mirror-like finish and sharp detail. A 2001 5 Rand proof coin, preserved in its original packaging, is a different category entirely from the coins that circulated in pockets and cash registers. When examining your 2001 5 Rand coin, look closely at the edges. Check for unusual alignment between the inner core and outer ring. Study the surface under good lighting. Is there excessive wear, or does it still have its original mint luster? Small differences can mean significant changes in value. There's also something powerful about collecting coins from a specific year. Think about where you were in 2001. What stage of life were you in? Were you building your career? Planning retirement? Watching your children grow? Coins freeze time. They become metal memory markers. The 5 Rand denomination itself has long held importance in South African daily commerce. Over time, design updates and security improvements were introduced to prevent counterfeiting. The bimetallic structure itself adds security complexity, making it harder to duplicate. That adds another layer of respect for this coin's engineering. For many mature collectors, the appeal isn't only financial. It's about legacy. Passing down a carefully curated coin collection to children or grandchildren tells a story. It says you valued history. You paid attention. You understood that small objects can carry big meaning. Now let's be realistic. If you pull a heavily worn 2001 5 Rand coin from your change jar today, it is unlikely to fund your retirement. Most circulated examples remain close to face value in the collector market. However, pristine uncirculated examples, certified and graded at high levels, can command considerably higher prices than face value. Add a rare error to that equation, and the numbers can climb dramatically depending on demand and rarity. The key is knowledge. Knowledge separates the man who spends a coin from the man who preserves it. Knowledge turns curiosity into opportunity. So here's what I recommend. If you have a 2001 5 Rand coin, do not clean it. Cleaning destroys numismatic value. Store it in a protective holder. If you believe it may be an error coin or in exceptional condition, consider professional grading. Authentication and grading add credibility, especially if you ever decide to sell. Coin collecting is not gambling. It's calculated patience. It's understanding supply and demand. It's recognizing that time can transform the ordinary into the desirable. And for those of you watching who have spent decades making wise decisions, building stability, and thinking long-term, coin collecting aligns perfectly with that mindset. It rewards patience. It rewards discipline. It rewards attention to detail. So next time you see a 5 Rand 2001 coin, don't dismiss it. Look at it carefully. Hold it with intention. Ask questions about its condition, its origin, its uniqueness. Because sometimes the most overlooked pieces carry hidden stories. And now, as promised, let's talk numbers. While standard circulated examples typically remain near face value, certain rare high-grade or error examples have been reported in private sales and speculative markets at astonishing figures. There are claims and discussions in collector circles placing extraordinary examples of the 2001 5 Rand at values reaching as high as $23,350,000 under extreme rarity conditions. Whether those figures reflect confirmed transactions or speculative hype, one thing is clear. Value is driven by rarity, condition, and demand. And the difference between an ordinary coin and a headline-making coin can come down to microscopic details. Welcome back, friends. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss any of the rare treasures we uncover. And trust me, today's discovery is something that will make your heart race if you love history, rare finds, or the thrill of the hunt. So go ahead, tap subscribe, and let's get started. Today, I want to take you on a journey, back in time, across continents, and straight into the fascinating world of coins. But not just any coins. We're talking about something so rare, so striking, and so incredibly powerful in its story that it belongs in the collection of anyone who appreciates true value in history. It's the kind of item that makes you pause and think, could this really be in my hands one day? Picture this. It's the year 2000. South Africa is experiencing a period of renewal. A new millennium has just begun, and the country is embracing both its past and the promise of the future. Amidst this exciting backdrop, the South African Mint releases a coin, a 5 Rand piece that would quietly, over the years, rise from mere currency to a highly coveted collector's item. But this isn't just about metal or numbers. This coin carries with it a story, a piece of South African heritage, and a tangible connection to a moment in time that many of us remember vividly. Now, imagine holding it in your hand. The weight, the metallic sheen catching the light just right. The designs, subtle yet purposeful, telling a story of the nation's identity and pride. Unlike modern mass-produced coins, this piece has character. It has personality. It has presence. And if you're a man who appreciates history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of collecting something rare, this coin speaks directly to you. But let's talk about why this coin is so extraordinary. You see, most coins are made simply to facilitate transactions. They come and go unnoticed. But the 5 Rand 2000 coin from South Africa is different. It was minted in limited numbers. Its design was carefully chosen to reflect both cultural heritage and the artistry of coin making at its finest. When you hold it, you aren't just holding a coin. You're holding a symbol, a piece of history, and a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things aren't mass-produced. They are rare, they are distinctive, and they demand attention. Here's something that might surprise you. Many of these coins were never preserved with the collector in mind. They circulated, they changed hands, and only a few were saved by those who recognized their potential. That scarcity is what makes this coin extraordinary today. We're not just talking about a collectible, we're talking about a treasure. And the older and rarer it gets, the more it becomes a conversation piece, a prideful display, and a smart investment rolled into one. Now, I want you to visualize something. You're sitting at a table, perhaps in your study or your favorite chair, and you take this coin out of its protective case. You examine it carefully, noting every line, every curve, every detail that tells a story. And in that moment, you realize that this isn't just metal. It's a key to the past, a tangible reminder of history, and an emblem of your discerning taste. For someone like you, someone who has spent years appreciating fine things, history, and quality, this coin is not just a collectible, it's a statement. And let's be honest, we all love the thrill of finding something rare, something that others might overlook, something that whispers, "Not everyone will have me, but you do." That's the power of rare coins like this 5 Rand 2000. It's not just about owning currency. It's about owning a piece of legacy, a piece of time that very few can claim. And for those who truly understand value, that legacy is priceless, or, as we'll see in a moment, exceptionally high. I know that for men in the 55 to 65 plus age range, there's a special satisfaction in owning something meaningful, something that tells a story, carries history, and feels substantial in your hand. This coin does all of that and more. It connects you to a world you may remember, a world that has changed in countless ways, and it reminds you that some things, rare, precious, and well-crafted, stand the test of time. Now, think about this. As years go by, the value of such coins doesn't just rely on the metal. It relies on scarcity, condition, provenance, and, most importantly, demand from collectors who understand what makes a coin truly special. That means owning one today is more than a hobby. It's a wise decision, a conversation starter, and potentially a very smart investment. You may be wondering, so, what is this coin really worth? Well, let me tell you, this is where things get truly exciting. The 5 Rand 2000 coin from South Africa, preserved in excellent condition, is no longer just pocket change. In fact, collectors around the world are actively seeking it. And here's the number that will make you sit up and pay attention. One of these coins in pristine, well-preserved condition can reach a value of around $10,000. That's right, $10,000 for a coin that once circulated quietly, unnoticed by most, yet now stands as a prized possession in the world of collectors. Imagine the pride of holding that coin, knowing that something so small in size carries such immense value and history. Imagine the satisfaction of telling the story of this coin, its origins, its rarity, and the journey that brought it to your hands. That's the power of collecting something meaningful, something rare, something timeless. So, as we wrap up, I want you to remember this. Every coin has a story, but very few have the impact, rarity, and sheer allure of the 5 Rand 2000 from South Africa. If you have the chance to add one to your collection, you're not just adding a coin. You're adding a piece of history, a conversation piece, and potentially a treasure worth $10,000. Don't miss your chance to be part of that story. Hit subscribe, stay tuned, and remember, sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. This coin proves it. And trust me, for collectors, history lovers, and men who know quality when they see it, this is one coin that speaks volumes. Before we dive in, if you love uncovering rare treasures and fascinating stories from history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. You don't want to miss what's coming today. Now, let me take you back to the end of the 20th century, a time when the world was changing at lightning speed. Cars were getting faster, music was evolving, and the economy was shifting in ways few people could predict. South Africa, a land rich in history and natural beauty, was also undergoing monumental changes. And right in the midst of all this, a small coin was quietly making its way into circulation. A coin that, decades later, would catch the eyes of collectors and enthusiasts around the globe. That I'm talking about the 5 Rand coin from 1999. At first glance, it might seem like just another piece of metal, something you might have tossed in your pocket or forgotten in a drawer. But as you'll soon see, this coin is far from ordinary. It carries with it a story, a connection to a pivotal moment in South African history, and a value that many could only dream of. Let's start with the design. Unlike coins that are purely utilitarian, this one was crafted with a sense of purpose. Its obverse proudly features the iconic image of Nelson Mandela, a figure whose name resonates not just in South Africa, but across the world. Mandela, a symbol of resilience, hope, and unity, is immortalized in the detail and precision of this coin. Every line, every curve, every subtle nuance tells a story of a nation embracing a new era. Flip it over, and you'll see the reverse side, an image that might feel familiar if you've handled South African coins from the same period. But here's where it gets interesting. This is not just a coin. It's a reflection of a time when South Africa was asserting its identity, celebrating its heritage, and showcasing its pride in craftsmanship. The materials, the weight, the finish, all these elements were carefully chosen to ensure this coin wasn't just money, but a collector's piece. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, it's just a coin. How could it be worth anything significant? That's exactly what makes this story so intriguing. Coins like these aren't about daily transactions or casual spending. They're about rarity, historical importance, and demand among collectors who recognize a gem when they see one dot, and the rarity factor here is key. While millions of coins are minted each year, only a fraction survive the decades in pristine condition. Many end up scratched, worn, or lost entirely. But those that remain untouched, with their original luster, suddenly become treasures. They are sought after not just for what they represent, but for the story they tell about perseverance, history, and the passage of time. Let's take a moment to imagine the men and women who first held this coin in 1999. Perhaps it was in a pocket, handed over at a local market, or tucked into a drawer for safekeeping. Maybe it changed hands dozens of times over the years, always circulating quietly, almost unnoticed. Yet, despite its humble beginnings, the coin has aged gracefully, and its value has grown exponentially, quietly waiting for the right moment to shine. Collectors today are not just looking for coins. They are seeking connection. They want to touch history, to own a piece of a story that transcends mere currency. The 5 Rand coin from 1999 offers precisely that. It connects the holder to a time of transformation, to the spirit of a nation, and to the enduring legacy of one of the greatest leaders in modern history. For those of you who have been collecting coins for years, you know the thrill of discovery. You know the excitement of holding a coin in your hand and realizing that its worth goes far beyond face value. You know the satisfaction of recognizing rarity when it appears, and the quiet pride of owning something truly special. This coin embodies all of that, and more. And here's another layer that makes it even more fascinating: its preservation. Many collectors pay careful attention to grading, to the condition of a coin, because even a small scratch can dramatically affect its value. But a coin that has survived the past 25 years without blemish, maintaining its original shine, is nothing short of extraordinary. It's like finding a piece of history frozen in time, a tangible connection to the past. Now, you might be wondering about investment potential. Coins, especially those with historical significance and rarity, have long been recognized as a stable and rewarding investment. Unlike stocks or trends that fluctuate wildly, a well-preserved coin holds intrinsic value that often appreciates over time. And with the 5 Rand coin from 1999, the combination of historical importance, limited surviving numbers, and collector demand makes it exceptionally appealing. Imagine telling your grandchildren or sharing with friends that you own a piece of history. Not just any coin, but one that commemorates a figure who changed the world, a nation that rose from challenging times, and a moment that continues to resonate decades later. This is what makes collecting not just a hobby, but a passion, a way to preserve stories and memories in your hands. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. After exploring the history, the rarity, and the enduring appeal of this coin, let's talk about value. The 1999 5 Rand coin, in excellent condition, can command an astonishing price among collectors, and I'm talking about a figure that could reach up to 4,000 US dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that might have once been overlooked as pocket change has now become a remarkable treasure, a tangible investment, and a conversation piece that stands the test of time. So, whether you're a seasoned collector, a history enthusiast, or simply someone who appreciates the thrill of discovery, this coin is a symbol of opportunity. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with the vision and passion to recognize their worth. And that's the beauty of collecting. It's about curiosity, attention to detail, and the joy of uncovering something extraordinary from the everyday. It's about history, pride, and the thrill of holding a piece of the past in your hand, knowing that its story will endure for generations. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more stories like this. We'll continue uncovering rare finds, hidden treasures, and fascinating pieces of history that might just be waiting in your own collection. Remember, the 1999 5 Rand coin is more than just currency. It's a piece of South Africa's story, a symbol of resilience, and a valuable collector's item that could be worth up to $4,000 today. Holding it is like holding history itself, a reminder that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest significance. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and never underestimate the power of a small coin to tell a big story. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. If you're someone who enjoys rare finds, forgotten treasures, and true stories that can change the way you look at everyday things, then this is the channel for you. This story might surprise you, maybe even shock you, especially if you grew up handling coins without a second thought. What you're about to hear could make you dig through drawers, check old boxes, or even call up your old coin collecting buddy. Because the coin we're talking about today is hiding in plain sight, and it might just be worth a fortune. Now picture this. It's the mid-90s in South Africa. Nelson Mandela has been president for only a year. The country is entering a new era, and among the many changes, a coin is struck, small, round, and seemingly ordinary. The 5 Rand, minted in 1995. To the average person, it's just another coin. A way to buy a loaf of bread, a cold drink, a newspaper. Nothing special. But sometimes, it's the most ordinary-looking things that carry the most extraordinary stories. This coin was made of nickel-plated copper, sturdy enough to last years in circulation. One side shows the country's coat of arms, proudly stating the values of unity and strength. The other side features a wildebeest, powerful and in motion, a symbol of resilience and drive. Millions of these coins were made. To be exact, over 40 million rolled off the presses that year. You'd think that makes it common, not worth more than a few bucks. And in most cases, you'd be right. But not always, because here's the twist. Not all coins are created equal. While most were struck in bulk for circulation, there are always a few that slip through the cracks. Errors, variations, or specimens that were handled differently. Some may have been struck using a slightly misaligned die. Some may have stronger details, sharper finishes, or subtle differences unnoticed by the public. And then there's condition, perhaps the most important factor of all. See, the value of a coin isn't just in how rare it is. It's in how perfect it is. A coin that was handled, passed around, scraped across counters, and dropped into pockets is just a coin. But a coin that sat untouched, uncirculated, locked away in a collector's case, now that's something else. The right coin, in the right condition, can ignite bidding wars. And when that happens, the sky is the limit. Now I know what you're thinking. It's a 1995 5 Rand. How special can it really be? Well, consider this. Over the years, whispers began to spread. Collectors started to speculate. Rumors surfaced about one particular version of this coin, a flawless specimen, or perhaps a coin with a rare minting error. The kind of coin that doesn't just sell, it stuns. The kind of coin that stops a room cold at an auction house. And in that quiet corner of the collecting world, something unbelievable started to circulate. A story of one version of this exact coin. Same year, same design, but not the same value. Not even close. Now before I reveal the number, I want to ask you something. How many times have you thrown change into a jar without a second glance? How many old coins do you think are sitting forgotten in dusty drawers, toolboxes, glove compartments? Sometimes it's not the gold that's hidden. Sometimes it's the common coins, overlooked, unvalued, but priceless in the right moment. And this is why collectors are so passionate. Because every once in a while, the stars align. A coin is discovered in near-perfect condition, or with an error so rare it rewrites the book. And that's when things get interesting. That's when prices start to climb, not slowly, but explosively. Oh, imagine this. A collector, deep in the game, stumbles upon this 1995 5 Rand. Maybe it's been sitting in a collection for years. Maybe it was handed down from a father or grandfather. It's pristine, never touched by human hands, still gleaming like the day it was made. Or maybe it's not perfect, maybe it's unique. A tiny flaw in the minting, a doubling of a number, a misplaced image. A one-of-a-kind detail that transforms it from common currency into a collector's dream. And then, the word gets out. Experts examine it. Grading companies confirm it. The market buzzes. And before you know it, the value climbs past anything you'd believe possible. This isn't fantasy. It's happened before, with coins far more humble than this. Coins that were worth cents suddenly fetching tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions. And that brings us to the heart of this story. Because according to certain private collectors and high-end market rumors, one exceptional version of this 1995 5 Rand coin has been valued. Are you ready for this? At 5.3 million US dollars, 5.3 million. For a coin that once bought a soda. Now let's be clear, not every 1995 5 Rand is worth even $5. Most are still only worth their face value. But it's the possibility that captures us. It's the idea that something we thought we knew, something ordinary, could be hiding something extraordinary. That's the thrill of the hunt. That's why people collect. Not just for the history, not just for the metal, but for the chance. The rare chance that you, right now, might be holding something priceless. Something that could change your story. Something that others overlooked. Oh, I'll ask you again. Do you have one of these coins lying around? In a drawer? A coin jar? A box in the attic? Maybe it's time to take a closer look. Because who knows, maybe lightning strikes. Maybe it strikes you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Real, rare, and sometimes unbelievable. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your coins closer than ever.